Welcome back to Forbidden Knowledge NewsCon. I'm Chris Matthew. I want to welcome Karen Holton. She is a social justice activist and judge for Natural and Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice. She is also an ET experiencer, educator, channel guide, and ascension coach. Her professional experiences include coaching, counseling, and public speaking. Karen, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing very good.
Good.
It's a conference is going great so far. I'm gonna be nice and worn out by the end, but that's okay.
You
Uh,
sure will.
looking forward to your presentation, Love, Sex, and Politics in Outer Space. I
Yeah.
mean, the name pretty much says it all, but we're looking forward to getting into this and seeing what this has to offer. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off and turn this over to you, ladies and gentlemen, Karen Holton.
Okay, I'm just going to go to screen share. Every morning we go to the baths, which provide a personal and collective grounding environment. It also gives us the chance to participate in group meditation, bonding, and grooming. It is interesting to note that some beings are more into grooming than others. Humans are on the extreme end of the grooming species, but not all off-world beings are genetically predisposed to it. Those of us who have grooming genetics require daily touch and physical affection in order to revitalize our energy pathways and strengthen our energetic flow. For us, grooming, touch, and physical affection contribute to our feeling physically, mentally, and spiritually well. As mentioned before, the baths help to form and strengthen familial bonds, and the water like fluid provides healing, grounding, nutrient for our bodies. After participating in the bathing rituals, our skin feels like it's glowing, and we feel very relaxed and comfortable with each other. The nudity seems to help us to bond naturally, as we do not judge the external form of anybody. Whether beings are fully corporeal or occupy a clone body, the actual form we take is considered irrelevant. Unlike here on Earth, when it comes to sex or nudity, there is a total absence of guilt, shame, self-consciousness, awkwardness, lust, or competitiveness. As part of self-love and self-care, all beings participate in some form of stretching to unblock the energy centers and stimulate circulation while preparing their bodies for the day. They use various practices that look like yoga or qigong, which mimic the natural flow of air and water as seen on many planets. E.T.s are aware of naturally occurring chakras, meridians, and other energy centers found within their bodies, but they do not find the need to service them the way we do here on Earth, because they are so fit and healthy. Everyone there has a vibrant heart Taurus field, and I noticed that although I could feel their energy, different beings affected me differently. While on the big ship, I felt very happy around some beings and more peaceful when I was around others. All of our energies combine with the energy of the big ship, which forms the temperament of the overall social atmosphere and political climate. Love is a universal energy pattern used to produce positive feelings, healing, and creativity. Love is actually the harmonic frequency of universal consciousness, which can be expressed as sound, vibration, color, light, and can include sexual energy. In outer space, sex is the erotic manifestation of love, which is a great basis for procreation. Reproduction. Reproduction includes love, and it usually requires physical intimacy, although the relationship between parents does not look like our concept of marriage. Life partnerships do occur frequently among the higher beings, and these relationships are universally tied to the concept of family. But there is no contract or set way of doing this. Some people, like the short beings with beards, cannot survive without each other. They form a life bond with their partners until death. Sex for reproduction is more technical than sex for orgasm and requires some preparation time. There are many beings who participate in complex rituals that are done as sort of a mating dance or experience. Examples that I witnessed included a dance between couples, which must be done absolutely perfectly so that the being who will carry the child will be able to conceive. Other rituals are very much like a tea or a cleansing ceremony with herbs and things that encourage fertility and conception. Many beings aboard the big ship will invite loved ones and friends to witness these procreative ceremonies, but most withdraw to a private place for the actual act of impregnation. Excuse me. All off-world births are recorded, and everyone has access to their genealogy and genetic details. Everyone is excited about reproduction. Births are documented but not regulated. Couples are routinely scanned by the genetic department for emotional and physical compatibility before proceeding. There are rare cases where reproduction between diverse races is not ideal, but most interracial relationships go very well. Whether reproduction includes sex, love, orgasm, or emotional bonding, there is always a tremendous commitment to the offspring. Moving on to sex. There is an emotional component to sex, and it is not strictly about physical orgasm. Orgasm or sex can stand on its own. It can be part of reproduction, and it can be an expression of intense love. Sex and spirituality. Sex creates a great deal of sexual energy. When used for reproduction, this energy goes toward the conception and creative process. Here on Earth, sexual energy is mostly used as dark magic, and its power is squandered or put to negative purpose. But things are very different in off-world environments. Non-physical orgasm is an option and is either telepathically delivered mind to mind or can be energetically produced heart to heart. Psychic sex only creates positive healing energy, which benefits the social and spiritual atmosphere on the big ship. It creates an intense sensation of euphoria, which explains why I saw no evidence of the use of synthetic drugs or medicinal plants to produce this sensation. There are many beings, especially those who are past the desire for reproduction, who choose to keep their sexual energy to themselves. Reproduction is usually chosen within the first 100 years of life. And since so many of these beings live much longer, they have learned to channel their sexual energy into spiritual power. Sexual energy is very potent and can be channeled into self-awareness, the ability to make contact with other worlds and dimensions, the manipulation of time and space, and much more than we could ever dream possible. Sexual culture. Many of the residents on the big ship are very curious about other races and about their sexual practices. Everyone is very in tune on a telepathic level, and although most have some shielding, for those of us new to this experience, there's no true privacy. But the good news is we are accepted for what we are. Sex is not something hidden. It is considered as healthful as eating, sleeping, and defecating. My advice, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. This is a very, very safe environment. So I just want to share very briefly something that happened to me that was pretty unexpected. One time, the aquatic being that I saw through the transparent barrier threw me some kind of I don't know what it was, some kind of a sonar-like beam as I walked past. And it hit me in the sex center of my brain, which produced a little orgasm. I was totally not expecting this. He was actually complimenting me, and this was his way of saying, let's be friends. Well, I giggled and I kept on walking. Okay, there is more to this experience, but I'm not telling. On board the big ship, sex does not necessarily mean romance. We are given opportunities for privacy. I was given a small room in the beginning, a bedroom of sorts with a bed, shower, and a small dresser with a tray for my made-to-order printables. Beings often retreat to these rooms for physical sex. It is found that the whole social environment is more relaxed when people have orgasms every day. We think clearer, digest our food better, and we sleep better. Pretty much all races benefit from sex and orgasm. Being ever so curious, some beings do like to have interracial sex with new or novel beings. The environment is definitely more intimate than here, even when it's not sexual. It is a very, very open culture. Also, E.T.s do not confine themselves to categories of gender or sexuality. They have a more integrated approach, as they know that both genders exist within everyone. And all humanoids are one species with gender neutrality. Since gender is a constructed concept, we only see this on Earth. Only when specific hormones are made available or not available in utero are the external or internal genitalia determined, which can be used for reproduction and erotic behaviors. Genitalia are necessary, but they have little bearing on the personality, character, thinking, or way of being. E.T. does not share our socialization, and so they do not know of typically male or female behavior or ability. They are part of a gender continuum and have both male and female qualities and have enormous freedom to express as the unique individuals that they are and not as gender stereotypes. In addition, E.T. would not consider themselves to be gay, lesbian, or bisexual because they are completely free to experience erotic love with another being or beings, regardless of genitalia. You could say that E.T.s are closer to being pansexual and pangender. They are fully aware that they carry the energy of the divine feminine and divine masculine within, and this adds to the balance of creation. We would consider E.T. to be very sexually liberated because we, here on Earth, have been shut down to everything that gives us power, including expanded opportunities for sexual maturity. For instance, celibacy offers the ability to channel sexual energy into manifested goals, but this is rarely considered here. In other cases, tantric-like sexual practices offer physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. On board the big ship, we do meditation, controlled breathing, and we have orgasms for mental, spiritual, and physical health. Again, we must stop thinking of E.T. in human-centric or anthropocentric terms. When I say they are at our next stage of evolution, they are also our next stage as higher dimensional beings. They are one essence diversified into the appearance of individuals like us, but are much more integrated with spirit. They are more strongly rooted in the love harmonic, and this sets their intention in life. For example, when they work and are in training, they do not follow a work schedule and do not have our methods of keeping track of time. They live in the flow. They just think about what they would like to do next, whether the inspiration comes from themselves, another being, the ship, or any combination of influences. Everything just flows. When they are tired, they rest. When they want to learn, they learn. They are just aware of their feelings and follow the flow. This is partly due to being telepathic, but also It's from being at one with the chaos of the flow of reality. So how to prepare for contact? Well, contact has begun. Disclosure has already happened. Earth is under quarantine until we humans evolve to the level of maturity to ensure that we will make positive contributions to the ecology of the universe. We need to take our power back and evolve, making room for resettlement options. To assist us, I was given the spiritual download of the Quantum Health Transformation Program, and I use it myself for recovery. Now, it is updated and available for free for everyone who has access to the internet. Quantum Health Transformation will assist you to become healthier, smarter, more spiritually prepared, and technologically in alignment with our intergalactic brothers and sisters, should we decide to connect with them. We must accept that we are not at the top of the heap evolution-wise when it comes to humanoids. We have trouble imagining beings superior to us, and it's a shock to find out that most off-world beings have never even considered our existence. We must try to step outside of the construct and stop thinking in human-centric terms. These are free people and have been free for thousands of years, maybe more. Their thinking, culture, health, and evolution is free from artificial constructs. Our norms of war, poverty, and crime, and illness would be very disturbing to them and foreign. This is why they are not going to swoop in here and rescue us. We have to overcome the infection of our dysfunctional beliefs and thinking. We must evolve to the point where we can connect with them through universal consciousness. They are not religious, but they are very spiritual beings. They will come as a response to an extinction level event, but will only take those who qualify, have useful skills, and have elevated themselves to a higher understanding of reality. This is part of the resettlement program requirements. Humans who have done the personal work so that they can hold sufficient frequency are the ones who will be taken. As an act of mercy, E.T. will also take our loved ones, which we as the qualified individuals hold dear. They would never take those of us who would spread the infection of our dysfunctional ways of thinking and being onto other worlds, or even onto the big ships. This would cause harm to the ecology of the omniverse. So just as to recap, a conclusion, last year I regained many of my memories and was called out to start making YouTube and other social media videos of my experiences with the Intergalactic Resettlement Program so that people could have a choice in how they want to prepare for upcoming Earth events. We are being conditioned by nefarious humans who try to make us afraid of our galactic and intergalactic brothers and sisters. Why? Because they bring awareness, knowledge, and ways of being which will correct our current state of affairs here on Earth. As mentioned earlier, my E.T. friends are not affiliated with any other group and are not part of the secret space program or the Galactic Federation who negotiates with human rulers. They started out as a rogue group a long time ago, and they have become very well established. They do not have faith in dysfunctional, dystopian world systems, and they want to be here for us as soon as we are ready. You cannot sign up or be put on a wait list. Your money has no meaning there. The only way to become involved is to become a finer human being. We must raise our awareness and do the work to clean up our bodies, minds, and everything else so that we can pull in and hold the higher frequencies necessary for contact and evolution. We must become something spiritually valuable. The social and political atmosphere on board the big ships is so safe, loving, and supportive. There is no fear, and everyone enjoys complete cultural freedom because everyone operates within the love harmonic. After spending time in this ideal cultural environment it is difficult for us experiencers to come back to mainstream reality here on Earth. In outer space, pure love is everywhere, and although it permeates everything, sex, romantic love, and reproduction are not necessarily connected. These elements help beings to form stronger bonds, have a healthful influence on the body, and provide the pleasurable rush of hormones and chemicals to refresh the body, mind, and spirit. Love is a universal energy pattern used to produce positive feelings, healing, and creativity. Love is actually the harmonic frequency of universal consciousness, which can be expressed as vibration, sound, color, light, and sexual activity. In outer space, love, sex, and politics intersect to form stable timelines. If you want to make positive contact with E.T., sorry about that, and or participate in the intergalactic resettlement program, take exquisite care of the temple body, raise your vibrational frequency, learn from the 9 steps to quantum health transformation, and look into the CE5 movement. Thank you for joining me, and thank you in advance for purchasing my upcoming book, which will be called Intergalactic Resettlement, Meet the New Neighbors. And I just have one other quick thing to say. All images are copied from pixabay.com and are free for commercial use. These images are used for illustration purposes and do not directly reflect my actual experiences. Hi, Chris.
Hello. Excellent presentation, Karen. As
Thank
usual.
you. Thank
Yes,
you.
very fascinating stuff. I'm sure the audience has a lot to think about now when it comes to our galactic neighbors.
Yeah, I hope so. I received actually a text before the show. Someone wanted to know if the refraining from sexual activity for energy had anything to do with the 6th step on some kind of Eastern traditional philosophy. And the answer is no. I don't know anything about that, but I just know from my experience with E.T.s that is a thing, and it is beneficial. Was there any questions from the? I guess we're probably running short on time.
Yeah, I have to actually get to the next one. We
Okay.
don't have any questions, but thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate that. And of course, we're going to have you back on the show sometime soon.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Enjoy the conference. Bye-bye.
See ya.